I've been thinking about this for a while. One question has entered my mind very recently, you guys, and that is, will I be reading the new Hunger Games prequel book, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes? My answer is probably because I'm trash. Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today this wasn't really planned, okay? This wasn't a planned video that I had made set in stone. I just decided to sit down, pull out my camera, and talk to you guys about this weird thing that's been going on. And if you guys don't know, The Hunger Games, that book trilogy from like 2008, written by Suzanne Collins, is kind of back from the dead because she has released a new book about almost a month ago at this point. By the time I'm filming this, I think next week or within like the next 2 weeks, it's gonna be like a month old already. So it's almost a month old. She released a new book called The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. If you guys don't know the cover, I'll display the cover right here. It's an okay cover, you know? It's fine. It's green. It's gold. It's silver. It's there. It doesn't really stand out, but it's fine. Okay. So there's been just like this whole debacle with the community on, specifically like the BookTube community. All the people that I follow on BookTube-wise, a lot of them have reviewed this book. They've reviewed The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. A lot of people hate it. A lot of people love it. But a lot of people are just like, I don't know. It wasn't really my thing. I remember when this was announced. When Suzanne Collins announced that she was going to be writing a new Hunger Games book, I, for one, was intrigued. I wasn't like, oh my god, I have to read this. This is going to be awesome. Yeah, but I was intrigued. I wasn't like, oh, I'm totally going to read it. I was intrigued, I'm not going to lie. I was definitely intrigued, and I thought about it, and I was like, ooh, me and my friends were all theorizing, oh my god, what is it gonna be about? Oh my god, is it gonna be about this person, this person, this person? We're all theorizing who it's gonna be about. Suzanne Collins, I remember when the article came out, it came out in like, I don't even know what article it came out in. Probably like the New York Times or something like that. So some like big famous newspaper like that or something. And online people were saying it's gonna be on the morning of the 10th Hunger Games, and it's gonna be someone's Hunger Games, and we were all thinking it's gonna be someone from Catching Fire named Mags. And if you guys don't know who Mags was in Catching Fire, if you guys haven't read first of all, if you guys haven't read the books, go read the books. They're fantastic. They're classic young adults dystopian novels. Like, yeah, they're probably cliche. If I reread them today, you know what? I'd probably still enjoy them. Will I reread them? Maybe. Maybe that'll be like a future video. Me rereading The Hunger Games after like 10 years, because I read them like 10 years ago. Because that's when everyone loved them. Everyone loved them in like 5th grade to middle school. We all moved on from The Hunger Games, and then Divergent came along in middle school. And then after The Hunger Games movies ended, the Divergent movies happened. So yeah, and then dystopian just kind of died down. Like, you would see like dystopian books here and there everywhere around bookstores and everything, but nothing ever really came back like how The Hunger Games did. Like, Suzanne Collins hadn't written a book in like almost 2 decades. Like, it's kind of weird. It's kind of insane just to think how Suzanne Collins hadn't written like a book, and she's coming back into the Hunger Games world because she doesn't have any new ideas, I guess. But I think that with all of these like really reviews on the book, if we're being honest, I'm probably gonna read it. I'm probably gonna read it at this point, because I just like drama. I like drama focused on books, movies, TV shows. I like very like entertainment drama, not political drama. Not political drama. I'm not into that. So we're not going to be discussing political drama. We're talking about entertainment drama, because that's why I started this channel. Let's talk about entertainment drama. But I think for me, with The Hunger Games kind of started my reading thing. I didn't really appreciate reading at all. With me, reading was just like, if it's for school, I guess I'll read it. I remember I read this book in 8th grade. It was like a book told in verse. It was about like something to do with Vietnam. It was something to do with Vietnam. And I think it was called Inside Out and Back Again. But it was really, really good. And that's kind of what started my reading thing. And then I started picking up books from there. But before that, I read The Hunger Games. The Hunger Games was my thing back in the day. I loved The Hunger Games. I remember when I read the first book, and then I got the second book, and then I got the third book. And I just read all of them very quickly. They were very good. Classic dystopian. There was a love triangle and everything between Katniss, Gale, and Peeta. And it was good. There was death, there was romance, you know? It was great. It was cliche, cheesy, dystopian. But to come back 10 years later and write a prequel book, if you guys don't know what The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is, it's a prequel book following our boy, our villain of the story, President Snow. And I've read like what the whole plot is. Basically, I just went on Wikipedia and I just saw the whole plot of it, because now I won't have to read the book. But if we're being honest, with all these reviews that are coming out about the book, and people are saying how disappointed I am with it, oh my god, this book sucks. It's not horrible, but it's not good either. I'm just disappointed. And people are giving it like 2-3 stars, but like, I mean, I think they should give Suzanne Collins some credit, because at least she came back and she wrote a book that she thought was good. Like, yeah, I know, like, it's very long. It's a very long book. The Hunger Games were like at least 350 pages. I don't think any of them reached to 400 pages at the time, especially compared with books now. Books are like at least 700 pages. You don't see like 350 page books anymore, like with The Hunger Games. This book, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, is about like 550, almost 600 pages. So yeah, and I know it's divided into 3 sections, because that's how The Hunger Games were divided. They were always divided into 3 sections, and the 3 sections would revolve around a specific plot of the story, but it would always like go cohesively, and it would like flow throughout the book. But I know that with this book, it's a prequel story focused on President Snow, and I know it's like an origin story for him and how he became the villain and everything. What I know about this book is that he is 18 years old. He is a mentor for the 10th Hunger Games. He doesn't go into the Hunger Games because he's a Capitol member, but he's super poor. He comes from a poor family, and the girl that he mentors, one of the tributes, is a District 12 girl. A girl from District 12. And who's another girl in District 12? Like maybe 60 years later, Katniss. And that's why Snow hates Katniss so much, because Katniss reminds him of this girl that he kind of falls in love with in The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I just know that he falls in love with her and she kind of doesn't like him back. That's really all I know about it. But people are just like, oh yeah, it's a President Snow origin story, but it's so cliche, because she cliche things like girl, like he was a mentor for this District 12 girl, like, oh my god, a girl from District 12, like, why not another district? But if you think about it, people, if you really put like some thought into your mind, that totally came out wrong. If you like process how this book has been published, regarding all of the, you know, like the political stuff that's happening nowadays, it came out during like a pretty serious time, I guess you could say. It came out during, you know, the COVID-19 pandemic, a week before Memorial Day weekend. And Memorial Day weekend, I know I said I wasn't gonna get into political stuff in this video, but just for like a minute, I'm gonna get into some political things. We know that the shooting of, you know, of George Floyd in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and he was a African-American black man killed by a white police officer. And I have heard that this kind of all relates to the book. I'm not like getting into, something like super political here. But I know that in the book, from reviews that I've seen, I've heard that some of the tributes, because I've heard in some reviews that in the book, like, there's a list of characters and their mentors and their tributes. I've heard that none of the tributes are listed with like any skin color, so that's kind of weird. But I remember I don't even think Suzanne Collins describes this in the books, but in District 11, predominantly everyone is like a dark-skinned, person. They're dark-skinned, and that's like the only district to have dark-skinned people. So no one in the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is described as like having any skin color. They're not really described at all. So I guess they're all white, which is fine. I mean, you can write like a white book. Yeah, I know. But I know that in the Hunger Games, I know people aren't criticizing Suzanne Collins for writing this book. They're just like criticizing, like how it's written. Like, it's written in a very cliche way. I've heard that. It takes a very generic story about a mentor falling in love with a tribute, and then this tribute supposedly dies. I don't know if she does die, but she supposedly dies, and he was in love with her, and then he grows up to be a bitter, mean man, and he hates Katniss, who's also the girl from District 12 who he hates. But she just reminds him of the girl that he fell in love with, who probably didn't love him back. But no one's described by their skin color, which is, kinda iffy, in today's, climate. I'm not gonna get into that because I already got into that. I heard that the pacing is very slow. I've heard that the story is very cliche. But a lot of people are reading it. I've seen so many reviews of people saying, yeah, it's good, but it's not great. But I just think that with all of these people and all of these like Hollywood things that are happening nowadays, like with people bringing back like TV shows, I think Full House brought back Fuller House, and that just ended. Friends is doing that Friends reunion special, but halted and put on hold indefinitely. Great for me, because I love that show. Because that was put on hold because of, the COVID-19 pandemic. Just think that if you want to bring something back 10 years later and please fans, I don't know. I'm not Suzanne Collins. I'm not here to criticize Suzanne Collins and other authors who were so happy with something, but they just had more story to tell. Like, I'm not criticizing that. Like, you can definitely do that. You can definitely have more story to tell, because it was only a trilogy, and we really don't go into depth, really. So she does want to go more into depth. That's why she made the book like almost 600 pages. But people are criticizing the book for being way too long, for it having very slow pacing, and just a very cliche story, and how, Snow turns up like 60 years later. If you guys are going to criticize the book, then why do you read the book? If you're so hyped up for the book and then it lets you down, that's fine, but like, why do you criticize the book for having a very slow pace? I feel that any book could have a slow pace. I don't mind slow pacing. I just have a very low attention span, so I could get easily bored. But I'm very focused on like character-driven stories, and I'm gonna relate The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes to one of my favorite movies of all time, Joker. Joker is a very slow movie. Very slow movie. It's kind of like The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Villain origin story, Villain origin story. With Joker, it is very slow, very gripping, because you have a main character who's kind of fucked up. He's like a sociopath, he's a serial killer, but you want to root for him. With The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, though, you kind of don't want to root for Snow, but you have to because, he's the main protagonist. But I feel like with how Joker and The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, how they relate is, you know, just having the same kind of thing, being, you know, like having a very slow pace, but having a very gripping plot, but having the pacing be very slow, being very slow in the book. You kind of get to know like a lot more things that you didn't know in the Hunger Games. So with the Hunger Games, you don't really get to know a lot of things. With the Battle of Songbirds and Snakes, though, from what I've heard in reviews, you do get a big expanse on the Capitol, and you get a lot of different, you know, points of view of how like this structure was made, how the Hunger Games, you know, became, because we're only at the 10th Hunger Games when this book happens. To kind of conclude this video, will I read the Battle of Songbirds and Snakes? Yeah. Will I make a review of it? Hell yeah, I will. Will I have issues with it? I don't know. Will I have issues with it? Probably, because I do rant a lot about things on this channel, because that's what I love to do. I love to rant about things. Will I have issues with it? Yeah, because even though something may be perfect, you still have like a few issues and a few flaws with it. Like, yeah, overall, from what I've heard in reviews, A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is very flawed, and a lot of people didn't like it. But I don't think you should criticize the book for not like exceeding your expectations, because who knows. And I've heard from a lot of people that how this first book ends, we might be getting a sequel. I've heard a lot of people say we might get a sequel, and who knows, she might write a sequel. She probably will, because I've heard that it sold like 500,000 copies in like its first 2 days. Anyway, Suzanne Collins, that was just a little rant about The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Will I read it? Hell yeah, I'll read it. Will I review it? Hell yeah, I'll review it. But, I don't think people should criticize an author for coming back from like 10 years, kind of rising from the dead. After writing the Hunger Games, she kind of like left, you know, media and all that, but she came back with a new Hunger Games book, because that's what she's comfortable in. If you guys enjoyed this rant review about The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and how, you know, people have issues with it, and my thoughts about it, and read it or not, and heard from reviews, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Alright, bye guys.